Hi guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm. I'm Jay, and welcome to another coffee break. Well, what an exciting week it's been here at Hilltop. Those of you that don't know, although the last coffee break video went out last Saturday, I usually try and get them out on Friday night, Saturday morning. It was actually filmed on Thursday afternoon. So, Friday morning, we went out to get the surprise that I'm going to tell you about later. But, on our way back, we had a nasty car accident. And yes, we're fine and the other people are fine. The only injury was a slight one to my knee, which is on the mend, so yeah, that's all good. So, as I say, it was wonderful that no one was hurt, but nevertheless, we had a car accident. Now, I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to see the results of that car accident and hear the story behind it. There's no point in going through the whole thing again. There is a video there if you're interested and you want to catch up on that. The only new development in the car accident saga is, although the car hasn't been written off as yet, I'm expecting it to, and we actually have purchased a new car for me. Picked that up, I think yesterday afternoon. And if they decide that they are going to go ahead and repair my car, the damage is so extensive that I would never quite trust it again. So we've made the decision that even if they fix it and it comes back, we will sell the old car. As much as I love that car, we will sell that one and obviously keep the one we've just bought. But I'm not expecting that to happen. I think they will write it off. But the whole saga of that is going to be the subject of this week's Sunday Soapbox. So if you actually tune in tomorrow to Sunday Soapbox, insurance companies are the flavour of the week, so that is going to be the subject of the week. Okay, so that's all about the car accident, and I'm better to the back teeth with car accident. So, moving on. The front of our property here at Hilltop has been open from the road to the front of the property. Has just been open, it hasn't been fenced or anything. So, and obviously it's just been a bit of a wasteland. It's not really been used for anything. We just have, a few bushes and trees, and in summer it's brown, and in winter it's overgrown, and we have to sort of cut all the grass back, so it's a huge waste of time. So we have said that one of our projects up and coming is to fence it off. We are on a relatively main and busy road, and our house is quite close to the road, so we intend to actually put up a tall fence, one to keep out the noise and make it more private, and so people don't see what we're doing out there, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be extending the farm. So as I say, we'll be putting up those fences, and then there will be more garden out the front, which will be fantastic because it will double our space that we've got for growing our kitchen garden, because the kitchen garden is just not big enough, and yeah, we need room to maneuver. So that's what we're doing. And this past week has seen the fence on one side of the property is seen has seen it actually being extended out to the boundary, and it's 6 foot high. And as I say, we've done that, fenced out that side. Well, we've had contractors do it. So we're sort of a third of the way, if you like, to doing that. The next part of the project is going to involve taking down trees, putting up shrubs. There's a slab of concrete. The previous owners, they concreted part of them in front of the house, I think for parking. But I mean, our driveway is wide enough for 2 cars, and oh, I don't know, you can get 8 to 10 cars down the driveway. So they've concreted this part in front of part of the house where you can park another couple of cars, and that just seems such a huge waste to us because we don't use it and we're never going to use it. So yeah, we're actually going to get a concrete cutter to cut that concrete and take it away to give us more, yet still more garden. So that's got to be done. Once that's done, we've got to get a bobcat thing in. It's going to, there's lots of rocks, concrete edging from years ago when I think you know, someone's put in they put in for garden beds, or tried to, and they've pulled, rather than use bricks or anything like that to edge it, they've used a continuous strip of concrete. So that's got to be broken up and taken away. And I don't know what previous people have put here. We're actually, hence the name of the farm, we're on the top of a hill, Hilltop Farm. And so you can imagine water doesn't collect here really, which is, you know, we can be very lucky, we're not subject to flooding, but you can imagine in a hot, dry climate, it's a bit of a bugger sometimes just to keep moisture in the soil. And for some strange reason, they've put like a top dressing of soil on the front of the property, and it's like sand. It literally is like sand. If you drive through it, and it's like driving almost on the beach. It's probably about that deep, and it's this sort of brown sandy stuff. And nothing grows in it because it just doesn't. When it's dry and you water it, the water just beads off the top of it. You know what I mean? And in winter, when you've got to have raining on it a lot before it finally gets wet. But once it does get wet, it only stays wet for a couple of days, and it's just gone. All the moisture is gone from it, and there's no nutrients in it. So we've decided when the bobcat comes in, takes away all the boulders and the concrete, and then we're just going to get him to strip off the top 2, 3, 4 inches, whatever it takes to get rid of all that sandy rubbish. So that will be the next project. And then there's the sort of remnants of a brick wall, and there's a brick letterbox out near the road, but that's been put in the wrong place. It's not on our property, and it's not on, you know, the government land out near the road. It's literally half on and half, and it's supposed to be within our property. So they can't put the fence in because it's going to go straight through the middle of this other brick thing that's there, so all that's got to be demolished. So there's a bit of work there, but we are quietly hoping that by the time spring comes round, we don't think we're going to be in a position to, well, I know we're not going to be in a position to have a bountiful garden this summer out there, but we want to be in a position where we've at least got the fences up, and we're making headway. You know, we're obviously going to do it garden bed by garden bed, and we're hoping to be part way through. And the rest of it that we're not using we'll just cover in pea straw or something to stop weeds coming through, and it can break down and help put some more nutrients back into the soil. So anyway, that's what's happening with that. The winter has finally hit. Last couple of days have actually been cold and wet and windy. A bit like the polar blasts they got in the US during their winter, and there was the, what was it called, the monster from the east or something or other they called it in Europe and the UK. They had a month or so back that wreaked havoc. Well, we've got the same thing at the moment coming from the Antarctic. We've got an Antarctic blast coming through, and it's dropped temperatures by 10 degrees and brought high winds and rains. And at the moment we're saying it's wonderful because we need it. So that's good. Needless to say, the ducks are thoroughly enjoying that because they're just in a swamp and they're in their element, and you know, we have to work especially hard to get them away at night because they don't want to go into their house because they want to stay. And for the first half hour when we put them away, we can hear them from inside the house complaining that they've been put away. So they're not very happy. And the leaves are starting to turn finally. They're about 4 weeks late turning this year, but they are finally turning. The chickens, they've slowed down a bit with their egg laying, but not as much as I would have expected. But this blast of cold air, we'll wait to see what effect that's going to have. I must confess I haven't noticed anyone doing the chicken dance today, or heard anyone, so that could be a sign that there's not going to be much in the way of eggs. The chicks, we lost a couple, sadly. One of those situations where you can't actually work out why. We've got the apple cider vinegar in the water. We've got, you know, the heat lamps are there. There's, you know, we check their back ends in case they go mucky or anything. Nothing. Everything seems to be fine. So yeah, we lost two, an Australorp and an Ancana. But the rest of them seem fine, so I have no idea what happened there. I think that's pretty much all, except for, drum roll please, the big surprise is we are branching out into quail. It's our first dabble at quail. We ummed and ahed about, you know, what to do, and we looked around online and asked people, you know, do we get some adult birds, what have you, and of course we've discovered that they grow so quickly. We also discovered that because of the extended summer that we've had, the quails are in ridiculous overdrive producing eggs, and you could get the eggs at the most ridiculous price. And we spoke to a gentleman who's on the other side of the city, and he said that we could have the eggs for $3 a dozen. And he sort of said, oh, you know, I recommend you get 4 dozen. Because, you know, they might not all hatch, you don't know what success you're going to have, you know, you don't know what sex they're going to be. So, we did that, and on the way up there we sort of said, oh, you know, should we get more? And when we got to his place, we sort of told him we were a bit hesitant, we didn't quite know how many to get. And so he's just counting these eggs into a container. And he was one of those people, typical country farmer, well they are typical country farmers in Australia, I don't know what they're like in your part of the world, but typical Australian country farmers don't stop talking. Just go, 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 go the whole time. And he was talked so much, he kept losing count of what he was up to. So anyway, we get our 4 dozen eggs. We come home. We have this head-on collision that I mentioned earlier in the video on the way home with the eggs. So we didn't crack any, didn't appear to lose any. So we're keeping everything crossed that we have live, viable eggs in there. But who knows what happened to them, because as I say, they were in the car when we had this head-on collision. But anyway, once we got home and we started laying them out, this is what we ended up with. Now, obviously I realised you didn't have time to count them, but we did. There's 88 there. So this farmer obviously cannot count because he's put 40 too many in the container. So we have possibly 88 quail that are going to be hatching in just over a week's time. So, or none, because I mean I don't know what a head-on collision does to eggs. They'll be miracle babies if they do come. So anyway, I shall keep you posted with what happens on those. If people are interested, we might even have to start up a series just on the quail, but we'll wait and see. So that's the big news, the quail news. I think that's pretty much it for this coffee break, except I need another sip. You're right, still the same cup. See, miracles do happen. Anyway, so that's all I've got to report from Hilltop Farm. If you want to give us a big thumbs up, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other of our videos. Go down to the links below to the Patreon page to check that out in case you're interested. There's a link so you can buy books through the book depository in the UK with free worldwide shipping, and every purchase you make through that link will help our channel. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and check out the video on the car accident last week. And stay tuned for tomorrow's little rant I'm going to have about insurance companies. But until then, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!